There is a quiet truth hiding beneath the surface of human life. A truth that almost no one dares to speak out loud. The people who walk alone, the ones with few friends or sometimes none at all, are not broken. They are not strange. They are not missing something. In many cases, they are carrying a rare inner fire that the world has not learned to understand. Carl Jung once observed that the deeper a person returns to their own soul, the smaller their social circle becomes. Not because they reject the world, but because their spirit begins to vibrate at a level that ordinary connections cannot reach. Most people never discover who they truly are. They hide behind noise, behind groups, behind the comfort of being surrounded. But the ones who stand apart, the ones who walk their own path, are doing something far more courageous. They are meeting themselves. Today, you will discover that having few friends is not a sign of weakness. It is often a sign of advancement, a sign of a mind that refuses to be shaped by the crowd, a sign of a soul that values truth more than approval. These individuals carry traits that many admire but very few possess. Authenticity, independence, selectivity, introspection, a growth. Each of these is a mark of someone who has not been swallowed by the world but has risen above it. If you have ever wondered why you feel different, why noise bothers you, why shallow conversations drain you, why you sense things others ignore, why you choose solitude even when others fear it, you are about to understand the deeper reason. There is nothing wrong with you. In fact, something powerful is awakening within you. Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you may realize that you were never alone in the way you feared. You were simply becoming the person you were meant to be. There is a moment in every quiet life when a person begins to notice something unusual about themselves while others bend, shape, or soften their identity to fit into groups. You remain standing as you are. You do not twist yourself to match the expectations of the crowd. You do not dilute your truth so that others feel more comfortable. You carry a kind of unwavering honesty that many admire but few dare to practice. This is the first trait of those who have few friends. The rare gift of authenticity. In a world driven by approval, where people trade their true selves for acceptance, you choose something far more difficult. You choose to live in alignment with your inner voice. This choice does not come without cost. When you are real in a world built on illusion, you stand out. When you speak with sincerity in a culture that masks its feelings, you become unsettling. And when you refuse to compromise your values, some will quietly drift away. But this is exactly what Jung observed in the lives of the most awakened individuals. The more a person descends into the depth of their own being, the more they lose their appetite for shallow company. Authenticity becomes a filter. It lets in only those who resonate with your truth and pushes away those who merely want a version of you that is easy, small, or convenient. People with few friends often live with a clarity that others cannot imitate. You know what you believe. You know what you stand for. You know what wounds you refuse to ignore and what dreams you refuse to abandon. This inner solidity is not loud. It does not demand attention. It simply exists like a mountain, still and unmoved even when the world rushes around it. And here is the deeper layer, the Jungian layer. When a person refuses to betray themselves, they enter a psychological territory that many never reach. They step outside the collective mask and meet their own soul without distortion. This is why your path feels different. This is why you do not fit easily into groups. You are not shaped by the crowd. You are shaped by your essence. People with many friends often flow with the external world. People with few friends often flow with the internal one. You have learned to listen to your instinct, your intuition, and your inner compass. You do not look for direction in the noise of society. You find it in the silence of your own self. You may not realize it, but this authenticity is a strength that few possess. It protects you from false connections. It shields you from the chaos of the crowd, and it ensures that those who remain in your life stand not with the mask you wear, but with the real you beneath it. Your solitude is not emptiness. It is a signal, a sign that you have chosen to live truthfully, a sign that you belong not to the crowd, but to your own becoming. There is a quiet power that grows inside people who spend much of their time alone. It does not appear suddenly. It does not announce itself. It develops slowly like roots pushing deeper into the earth while the surface remains unchanged. This power is inner sovereignty, the ability to stand firmly within your own life without depending on the presence, approval, or validation of others. Most people search for themselves in the reflections offered by the world. They ask others for direction. They rely on company to escape their own thoughts. They fear silence because silence reveals too much. But you, the person with few friends, have learned something different. You have learned that strength is not given. Strength is cultivated in the moments when no one is watching. Independence is not an attitude. It is a state of soul. It means you can face your days without waiting for someone to guide you. It means you trust your own mind enough to let it lead you. It means you have walked through inner storms alone and discovered that you did not break. The lonely path did not destroy you. It shaped you. Carl Jung wrote about the individual who no longer relies on the collective for meaning. He believed that a person becomes truly alive only when they stop looking outward and begin listening inward. Those with few friends often reach this stage earlier than others. You are forced to grow your own roots because there are no hands constantly holding you upright. You become self-contained, not out of pride, but out of necessity. This is why people with few friends often carry a calm presence. You do not crumble easily. You do not panic when life shifts beneath you. You have already learned to walk without leaning on others. You have learned to move forward even when the world is silent. This makes you different in ways that many cannot understand. Your independence is not coldness. It is not emotional distance. It is a kind of clarity. You know that your happiness cannot belong to someone else. You know that your choices must be your own. You know that your life is ultimately your responsibility. People who have never stood alone cannot comprehend this level of inner authority. And here is the deeper truth. The fewer people you rely on, the more connected you become to yourself. The less you depend on external noise, the more you hear your inner voice. The fewer hands you grasp for stability, the more you discover your own strength. You have built a foundation within yourself, not because life was easy, but because you refuse to collapse. When you walk alone, you discover who you really are. When you stop needing others to complete you, you become complete in your own right. This is the hidden power of solitude. It is not isolation. It is sovereignty, the quiet realization that you are enough. You may have few friends, but you possess something infinitely more valuable. You possess the one thing that many people spend their entire lives searching for, yourself. There comes a point in a quiet life when you begin to notice something that others often overlook. You do not let people into your world easily. You do not open your doors just because someone knocks. You do not allow your heart to be handled by careless hands. This is not pride. This is not distance. This is sacred selectivity. Most people collect relationships the way others collect objects. They gather acquaintances out of fear of being alone. They stay in shallow circles because silence feels threatening. They accept any company simply to avoid facing themselves, but not you. You have learned that presence without depth is emptiness. You have learned that a crowded life is not the same as a meaningful one. People with few friends possess a rare ability to choose with precision. You sense energy before words are spoken. You notice intentions before actions appear. You feel the hidden weight behind a smile or a tone. And because of this, you cannot pretend. You cannot force a connection where your soul feels no resonance. You cannot stay where your spirit feels drained. Carl Jung taught that the psyche is always attempting to protect itself. It warns you when someone is not aligned with your truth. It pushes you away from those who live through illusion. It pulls you toward those who carry a similar flame. Your selectivity is not a flaw. It is your inner wisdom choosing quality over noise. Imagine a sculptor choosing stone. They do not pick up every rock that lies in their path. They examine, observe, and select only what holds the potential for something beautiful. You treat relationships the same way. You understand that every person you allow into your life shapes you in some small way. So, you choose carefully. This is why your circle is small, not because you are difficult, but because your standard is high. You value honesty, loyalty, depth, and emotional intelligence. You have no interest in people who gossip, pretend, manipulate, or perform. You prefer a single genuine soul over a crowd of shallow ones. And here is the deeper Jungian layer. Selectivity is a sign of individuation. It means you are no longer choosing people to fill an emptiness inside you. You are choosing people who match the growth you have fought for. You do not look for a tribe to hide in. You look for minds that mirror your authenticity, hearts that recognize your resonance, souls that speak the same quiet language. This may mean fewer friends, but it also means better ones, more aligned, more sincere, more meaningful. In a world where many are afraid to lose company, you are unafraid to lose what is false. That is strength. That is maturity. That is evolution. Your solitude is not a sign that no one wants you. It is a sign that you refuse to settle for anything less than truth. There is a kind of strength that does not shout, does not seek attention, and does not demand recognition. It grows in silence. It deepens in solitude. It emerges slowly inside the inner world of a person who has learned to sit with themselves without fear. This strength is introspection. Most people spend their entire lives looking outward. They chase approval. They chase distraction. They chase anything that keeps them from hearing the truth within. They fill their days with noise because silence exposes what they refuse to face. But you, the one who walks alone more often than with others, have learned to enter the quiet places of your own mind. You have discovered what many never will, that silence is not empty. It is full of answers. Carl Jung taught that those who dare to observe their own depths begin to understand life differently. They do not move blindly. They do not react unconsciously. They recognize the hidden forces behind their emotions, their patterns, their desires. They see not just what they do, but why they do it. This awareness is not common. It is earned. Your introspection is like a lantern in a dark forest. While others stumble through life guided by habit and impulse, you move with intention. You pause before reacting. You examine before deciding. You understand that every emotion carries a message. Every fear reveals a wound. And every desire hints at a deeper longing. This ability to look inward gives you an advantage that few understand. You grow without needing external motivation. You evolve without needing someone to push you. You transform because you choose to face what others run from. Alone time becomes your teacher, your mentor, your mirror. And here is the Jungian truth. Those who look inward awaken. Those who refuse remain asleep. Introspection allows you to see the patterns that keep others stuck. It helps you release old identities that no longer serve you. It reveals the shadows you carry and invites you to integrate them rather than deny them. This is why you think differently. This is why you move differently. This is why so many misunderstand you. You are operating from a level of self-awareness that most people never reach. Your solitude is not loneliness. It is self-cont. It is the meeting point between your conscious mind and your deeper self. It is the space where clarity arrives uninvited. The space where intuition becomes louder than fear. The space where you remember who you truly are without the influence of the world. This inner world you cultivate is not a hiding place. It is a sanctuary. It is where your spirit recovers, where your creativity expands, where your soul reorganizes itself after being overwhelmed by life. While others crumble when left alone, you rise from your solitude with sharper vision and stronger purpose. That is the hidden power of introspection. It is the quiet revolution of the self. There is a kind of growth that does not come from success, applause, or the validation of others. It comes from solitude. It comes from having the courage to walk a path that most people avoid. It comes from being different in a world that constantly pressures you to be the same. People who have few friends often possess this rare gift, the ability to evolve beyond the expectations of society. Most individuals move through life on autopilot. They repeat the same patterns. They inherit beliefs without questioning them. They follow the crowd because the crowd feels safe. But you, the one who stands slightly outside the circle, have access to something deeper. You have the space to grow in ways that others never consider. Carl Jung believed that true growth begins the moment a person turns inward, the moment they stop living for approval and start living for truth. This shift does not happen in large groups. It does not happen in constant company. It happens in silence. It happens in reflection. It happens when life forces you to rely on your own strength instead of leaning on the comfort of the familiar. When you walk alone, you gain a perspective that others cannot see. It is like climbing a mountain while the world remains in the valley. From above, everything looks different. Small problems become insignificant. Loud voices become distant. The world below continues in its urgency, but your view becomes wider, clearer, more honest. This growth is not accidental. It is earned through the discomfort of solitude, through the patience of introspection, through the struggle of carrying your own weight. Every challenge becomes a lesson. Every setback becomes a teacher. Every moment of silence becomes a doorway to deeper awareness. While others measure their worth by how many people surround them, you measure yours by how much you have evolved. You understand that growth is not a social achievement. It is a spiritual transformation, a reshaping of the mind, a strengthening of the soul, a rising of consciousness. Your loneliness becomes your forge. Your inner world becomes your mentor. Your reflections become your compass. Instead of seeking distractions, you seek meaning. Instead of repeating patterns, you break them. Instead of drowning in noise, you cultivate wisdom. This is why your presence feels different. This is why people sense depth in you even if they cannot explain it. You have grown through experiences that required silence. You have matured through trials that demanded resilience. You have expanded in ways that leave a quiet strength in your voice and an unmistakable clarity in your eyes. The world needs people like you. People who rise through introspection. People who evolve through awareness. People who carry wisdom that was not borrowed from others, but shaped through their own inner work. This is the rare gift of growth. A gift found not in crowds, but in solitude, not in noise, but in stillness, not in popularity, but in the courage to become more than what the world expects. There is a truth few people ever discover. A truth that reveals itself only to those who walk through life with more silence than company. Solitude does not weaken you. It strengthens you at a level most people never reach. When you spend long periods alone, you develop a kind of inner foundation that cannot be shaken by circumstances, relationships, or the shifting moods of others. Most people build their identity around their social world. They draw their confidence from approval. They borrow their sense of self from how others see them. When those relationships fail or change, their foundation collapses. But not you. Your strength comes from within, not from the echoes of other voices. Carl Jung believed that the most powerful individuals are those who have faced themselves in the quiet and come out whole. He taught that a person who knows their inner world becomes unmovable because nothing external can pull them away from their center. This is the kind of strength solitude has been building in you. You have learned to sit with your fears until they dissolve. You have learned to listen to your intuition until it becomes unmistakable. You have learned to trust your inner guidance more than the noise of the world. This is not ordinary strength. It is soul-level resilience. People who have many friends often spend their lives negotiating with the expectations of others. But when you walk alone, you negotiate only with truth. You choose what aligns with your soul. You reject what drains your spirit. You step into decisions with a clarity that others envy but rarely understand. This kind of strength is quiet. It does not announce itself. It does not need to. It shows up in your ability to hold yourself together when life tests you. It shows up in your calm when others panic. It shows up in your depth when others only skim the surface. It shows up in your eyes, in your voice, in the way you move through the world without needing anything from anyone to feel whole. While others exhaust themselves trying to maintain appearances, you conserve your energy for what truly matters. While others fear being alone, you draw power from it. While others cling to anyone who offers attention, you choose connection only when it resonates with your truth. This is why people misunderstand you. They think you avoid crowds because you are shy. They assume you keep few friends because you are distant. But the truth is far deeper. You do not fear people. You simply refuse to abandon yourself in order to belong. This is real strength. The strength of someone who is whole within themselves. The strength of someone who does not break when left alone. The strength of someone who carries the calm of an entire inner world. Solitude has not diminished you. It has forged you. There is something unique about those who walk through life with few companions. Something that cannot be taught in schools or learned from books. Something that only emerges through the combination of solitude, reflection, authenticity, and selective connection. It is wisdom, not the loud wisdom of experts, not the technical wisdom of scholars, but the quiet wisdom of the soul. People with few friends often carry a deeper understanding of life because they observe more than they speak. They feel more than they show. They think further than the moment in front of them. While most drift through life reacting to whatever comes their way, you move with awareness, with intention, with a deeper comprehension of what truly matters. Carl Jung taught that wisdom grows in silence, that the inner world expands when the outer world becomes quiet, that a person who dares to reflect on their own journey will always surpass the one who only looks outward. This is the path you have chosen, whether knowingly or instinctively. You have learned to read the emotional weather of situations. You sense tension before it is spoken. You know when someone is genuine and when someone hides behind masks. You recognize patterns in human behavior that others are blind to. This is not magic. It is perception shaped through solitude. Your experiences have carved depth into you. Every hardship became a lesson. Every disappointment became a doorway to self-understanding. Every quiet night alone became a conversation with your own soul. This is why others feel something different when they meet you. You carry a presence that cannot be faked because it was earned in silence. People may think you are reserved. They may believe you prefer distance. But the truth is far more profound. You simply do not waste your energy. You do not scatter your heart. You do not offer your loyalty to those who cannot hold it with care. You choose connection the way a master artist chooses color deliberately, intentionally, with meaning behind every selection. This is wisdom in action. The wisdom to know who deserves access to you. The wisdom to protect your peace. The wisdom to grow in your own direction even when the world pulls another way. And here's the paradox. The very traits that make you appear alone are the same traits that make you extraordinary. You may not have a large circle, but you have a deep self. You may not be surrounded by people, but you are surrounded by clarity. You may not always feel understood, but you understand life in a way that few ever will. This is the quiet wisdom that sets you apart. This is the silent crown you wear without realizing it. This is the gift that solitude has given you. And one day, those who once misunderstood your path will recognize what it truly was. Not loneliness, but evolution. Not isolation, but awakening. Not emptiness, but the long journey toward becoming entirely yourself. If you have seen yourself in these chapters, if these traits touch something quiet but undeniable within you, then hear this clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. Nothing is missing. Nothing is broken. You are not behind in life. You are simply walking a different road, a deeper one. A road that few have the courage to take. People with few friends are not empty. They are selective. They are discerning. They are growing where others are only drifting. You are becoming someone rare in a world that rewards noise more than depth. And the world needs people like you. People who think, people who feel, people who choose with purpose rather than impulse. So take a breath and honor your journey. Honor the quiet strength you have built. Honor the person you are becoming. Your solitude has shaped you. Your introspection has refined you. Your authenticity has protected you, and your independence has liberated you. None of it has been wasted. If this message resonated with you, let it be the beginning of a deeper conversation between you and your own soul. And if it helped you see yourself with clearer eyes, I invite you to stay connected with this space where depth is honored and meaning is cherished. If this video touched you, give it a like so it can reach others who need this reminder. Subscribe if you want more reflections that awaken the mind and strengthen the spirit. And share this message with someone who stands on the edge of their own becoming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for thinking deeply in a world that fears silence. Thank you for choosing understanding over conformity. Until we meet again, stay rooted in yourself. Stay aligned with your truth, and let your quiet strength speak louder than any crowd ever.